Hello, welcome to Dungeon Dwellers Podcast. I'm your host, Justin. We're doing our 21st review for Halloween month. Only 10 more to go before we're done. Also, once after our last review for Halloween month, I'll do a recap on. We're gonna do two videos. One where we show off the winners of Halloween month, the top three best graphic novels or manga that we reviewed, which we'll call the Kings of Halloween month, and then we'll do another video where we trash the fucking losers of Halloween month, the three worst, which we pretty much have an idea which which comics are going to be in that video. Hint: the Dark Souls comic. Hopefully not the Bloodborne comic. Yeah, so today we're reviewing New 52's Swamp Thing in 2012 or 2011. After Final Crisis, which was my favorite DC, not DC, but comic book event of all time because it's set in an alternate universe where a character went back in time and changed shit. The present got all fucked up, so you're the main character, which was Flash, is an outsider. So you know as much as he does as he's exploring this alternate reality. So it's you don't have to worry about the fucking bullshit that always happens in comic book events where you have to read almost every fucking issue that ties in, and they usually reference shit that happens before the series, so it gets fucking confusing. Sometimes you even have shit where major characters will get killed off screen, but it'll get mentioned in the main book. It's what the fuck. If people don't know, Aquaman was killed in Final Crisis off screen. Aqua fucking Man, one of the big one. Well, I don't want to say he's one of the DC's biggest comics. I did know a guy back in the day whose favorite superhero was Aquaman, but it was he's one of the big hitters. You would think they would show off. They would show that his death scene in the comic. So after Final Crisis, not Final Crisis, Flashpoint, Barry fixed the timeline kinda, but creates a new one that was more similar to the one before, Zoom or whatever the fuck. Is it Zoom or Reverse Flash? I don't know. One of those guys fucked up the timeline. So now you have the reboot. It's more of New 52 is kind of a clusterfuck to me because it's they reference shit that happened before the retcon, right? Before Flashpoint changed everything, but it's they never met each other. So it's because if you read Justice League, that was the first time they ever met, but then they reference shit that happened before. Damian's a thing, Nightwing is practically the same age as Batman, which is they're supposed to have at least maybe a 10-year difference. I don't know, they fucked everything up. But the story for this is, and by the way, I've never read. This is my only Swamp Thing book. So I never read the Alan Moore stuff. At some point I'll pick it up. But basically they retconned the Alan Moore shit. Which did he fucking create Swamp Thing? I don't even know. If people don't know, the first graphic novel we reviewed, which for Halloween month, was Deadpool. What was it called? I don't have it here, but it was a tie-in to Fear Itself. Yeah, Deadpool, Fear Itself, and the Fearsome Four, which had Man-Thing as the villain in the Fearsome Four book. Which Man-Thing is a ripoff of Swamp Thing. There was also 2 movies by way of Swamp Thing, so if you want to check those out, I think I remember watching the first one. I thought it was okay. You have Ray Rice as Alec Holland. So the story for this is, Alec Holland, after an accident, turned into Swamp Thing. Eventually, though, Swamp Thing disappeared and he was resurrected back to being a human from the swamp. And they go over it here in the book how that happened. And he's living like kind of a regular life for 6 months. Weird shit starts happening around the world. Dead animals are just uh, animals are dropping dead pretty much everywhere, like dropping from the sky. You got a scene of Superman in Metropolis seeing dead birds fall. You have Batman in his Batcave seeing like bats fall dead on his car, which that sucks. And you see Aquaman surrounded by dead fish. So Superman goes to see Alec Holland because he knows that Alec Holland used to be Swamp Thing, even though that happened in a different fucking timeline, whatever. And he asks him, "Hey, can you look into this bullshit that's happening?" So what happens is, in this universe, there's these three different powers that are these three factions that are at war with each other. There's the green, which all superhumans that have plant controlling powers get their powers from the green. That's that's the source of Swamp Thing's powers. You have the red, which has the power of all living things. That's where Animal Man gets his power from, not from an alien experiment, which is what it originally was in his origin story. They retcon his shit as well while referencing the Grant Morrison run, which the Grant Morrison run of Animal Man was good, but I hated the vegan shit, and I'm not gonna read that shit or review it again. Especially after the news I heard about some vegan YouTuber couple, who I'm not gonna mention by name, adopted a wolf dog puppy, fed it a vegan diet, and it died from the vegan diet. Which dogs don't just die from shit like that right away. They get diarrhea and they start puking. They're lethargic for weeks if you're feeding the wrong shit. Like, I have a small dog, right? My vet tells me feed my dog meat once a week at least, right? So like, if my dog, who's a small dog that's not part fucking wolf, has to eat meat once a fucking week, you would think a fucking wolf dog that would probably would need double that fucking requirement, but whatever, right? So this book, what happens is, there's this third force called the Rot, which all the dead people who have death controlling powers or whatever get their powers from the Rot, which is the main enemy of this book and the Animal Man book, if I remember correctly. There's even a Swamp Thing Animal Man crossover in Annual #1, which I have that book. I could review it if somebody wants me to. Though the Animal Man run, I kind of don't remember much. I only have like the first 24 issues, and I haven't read it in years. So what happens in this book is he meets people are getting possessed by the Rots, and they're killing each other. It's pretty graphic. This book has like a horror comic feel to it. It feels like a horror movie. And Alec Holland meets Abigail Arcane, while like Alec Holland's family is connected to the Green, her family is connected to the Rot, but she's trying to fight against the Rot. Apparently, she was his girlfriend when he used to be Swamp Thing during the Alan Moore run. They're on a mission to find her brother, William Arcane, which at first I thought, is this like kid supposed to be William Hand from Blackest Night? But no, they have different last names, though their powers are kind of similar, isn't it? But whatever. Though like apparently before Blackest Night, Black Hand was a joke. So I don't know, who knows. So like they're on a quest to meet her brother, who's a bubble boy. Though he doesn't live in a bubble. He lives in like this square um, plastic thing that's on like a push cart. Not a push cart, like a lift cart. Like the carts used to move like heavy boxes and shit and skids. So they're off to find him. He's the villain of this book. He can manipulate dead matter, and people and shit, like tumors and whatnot, which leads to very gory fucking deaths. Yeah, and after that, the entire time, like, you're getting the backstory behind the new mythos of the green of Swamp Thing. Like, Swamp Thing is supposed to be the knight of the green, like, its protector, its warrior, and Alec Holland needs to become the Swamp Thing to defeat the Rot. And he's reluctant because once he turns into Swamp Thing, he can't turn back, but obviously you can still bang, dude, because Swamp Thing had a girlfriend, so it's like obviously something can go on. And apparently there's a TV show based off this book too. I haven't fucking watched it, but I don't know. The book is pretty good, I would say. The art is, I like it. It's good. It doesn't try to go too realistic, which like a lot of horror comics do. It still has that comic book art kind of feel to it. If you're a parent, there's a lot of kids die in this book. Just so you know. Yep, and so like this is my first. I didn't even know I had a Scott Snyder book before. I was looking for shit to review, because I read this years ago when it first came out. Scott Snyder. He's supposed to be the new Batman writer, and I forgot to mention the artist by Yanick Paquette. So Scott Snyder is writer of this book. He's supposed to be the new Batman writer. The fucking script, like the dialogue and everything, reads like something I would have wrote when I was a teenager, which I did write like these kind of stories when I was a teenager, because I watched a lot of anime, played a lot of SMT, shit like that, you know. You know what I mean? And I watched a lot of Tarantino movies and Kevin Smith movies, and I thought, oh, I could be a writer too. So yeah, the dialogue is awful. That's the weakest part, honestly, of this book. But other than that, the stuff that's going on, there's some creative deaths. There's not really fight scenes, kinda, but like, yeah, I would say the book is very creative. My other complaint is you have this thing going on with the Rot, where it's like, this is like a comic book crossover event, because this is like something that would affect the entire world. And like a lot of other New 52 books do this, where they have this big shit going on, but there's no other superheroes to help fight it when this shit's going on. Like all of New Mexico or whatever the desert part of America is being turned into like zombie, getting turned into Dark Souls pretty much, and there's no superheroes to fight it. Like, what the fuck? Like other books do, but like before New 52, whenever this shit happens, it usually is contained, and then the superheroes show up and they're like, we don't know what the fuck to do. Let's call like somebody like Shadow Pact, Doom Patrol, the weird superhero teams that handle the supernatural. There's none of that. There is kinda with Superman, when Superman shows up at the beginning. But then, like, you're saying, like, this isn't something where, like, there's a red dome over a city and it's magic, so he can't do anything about it. Like, people are getting killed by zombies. You're telling me Superman can't help with that? Like, what the fuck? But yeah, other than that, that's my only complaint. Yeah. Does my voice crack? So my rating for this is a 7 out of 10. Besides from the dialogue and some like plot fucking points, this is a good book. It's worth reading. Though if you can get a hold of the Alan Moore shit, obviously get that. I'll be reviewing Dorohedoro